Hello and welcome to this granny square with the diamond in the center crochet tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to make this block. We are using 3 colors. I'm using gold, white, and red. This will be great if you choose to use scrap yarn. You can make a blanket. You can sew it together, make one strip, use it as a scarf, add many together, make a pillow. The possibilities are endless. So let's go ahead and get started. The materials and tools that we will be using here, I have a large eye tapestry needle. This is great for pulling our yarn through. I have a crochet hook. This one is by Susan Bates. It's a G7 4.50 millimeter. Pair of scissors. And as before, I have my colors of yarn. Each one of my yarn is from Red Heart Super Saver. I have scraps here to make it easier for viewing on the video. So let's get started. To give a little bit more introduction about our block, it has 6 rows. So this way, if you choose to use different colors than what I'm using, or even all of one color, you'll know about how much you'll need when making this block. We're going to be starting off here with our granny. Our second row will be a granny. Our third row is the white right here. The fourth row will be front post trebles with single crochet, and our fifth row will be the gold. It'll be a combination of single crochet and double crochet. Our sixth row will be the red, which will be all double crochets. So let's grab our center color. Mine is gold, and let's get started. Before I begin any project, I like to bring out an ample amount of yarn. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some out now. Makes it so my tension is a lot better to work with. So let's start with a magic circle. I encourage you to leave a good sized tail, about 8 inches. Go ahead and wrap it around your first 2 fingers. Take your hook, go up underneath, pull up a loop, and complete as if you were making a chain. Now my second suggestion is to tighten that loop on that ring that we've just made. This will help make it so that as you're adding stitches to your ring, the tail and the ring will not enlarge in size. In this process, chain 3 will count as a double crochet. So let's chain 3 and into our circle 2 double crochets. Chain 2, 3 double crochets. We are beginning our repeat. Chain 2, 3 double crochets. Chain 2. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 sets. We need one more set, 3 double crochet, and when you get to the end of that, wait for me. I'm going to show you what we're going to do to close this row off. Okay, first I'm going to take my tail and untwist it from around my magic circle. Place the one you're holding your hook in over your stitches, and then take your tail with the other hand and pull. You're going to want to pull it closed so that you have a nice circle. Not super tight, but just tight. Do not cut this. After a couple of more rows, or maybe at the end of the block, we'll go ahead and weave it back in to our gold yarn. Okay, so let's finish this row. We're going to chain 1, and in the top of that chain 3, you can see 1, 2, and 3. Let's place a single crochet, and this will take us to the center of our corner space right here of an actual chain 2. So let's chain 3, 1, 2, 3. This does count as our double crochet. This will be half of our corner. We'll do the other half when we complete our row. So place 2 double crochets in that same space, chain 1. Now we're going to skip over these 3 double crochets from the previous row, and in the next chain 2 space, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. As you work it, do not hesitate to slide your stitches over to make it easier to apply your additional stitches. Okay, so we have one corner completed. Chain 1. You're going to be doing this to the other 2 corners. 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 1, and then our corner, chain 1, and I'll meet you at this one so we can finish it. Go ahead and do that. Please pause your video. Okay, so after this corner of 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, I have my chain 1. Now in the first space that we went up on, we're going to place 3 double crochets in that chain 2 space. Okay, so we're going to chain 1, and in the top of that chain 3, we're going to do another single crochet. But instead of completing it, we're going to go ahead and pull up the loop, set our work down, leave a little tail about 6 to 8 inches, cut your yarn, and I'm going to bring in my white. Okay, and I'm going to pull some of it out so I can get started. And then I'm going to leave about 6 to 8 inches for a tail. I'm going to bring it through the last 2 loops to complete that single crochet. Leave your 2 tails hanging down. With the white, chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now in this chain 2 space right here, we're going to place 3 double crochet or 2 double crochets. Okay, so this is how far we got. Go ahead and examine your work and make sure it lines up with mine, and please pause your video. So let's continue on. We're going to be placing 3 double crochets over the previous row of double crochets. So if you have to, pull your work over a little, and in that chain 3 space at the top where we did our single crochet, we're going to place a double crochet. So we have 1. In our next one, we have number 2, Now you notice that I'm going to be crocheting over my tails. This will help prevent having to sew it in later. There's 3. We have our chain 1 space. Let's place a double crochet in that chain 1 space. I'm going to keep sewing or crocheting over my tails for the next 3 stitches, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut it. So let's place a double crochet over the top of the previous row of double crochets. So we'll add 3 right here. Here's number 2. Here's number 3. All right, so this is what we have so far. Let's go ahead, place our work down, use our scissors to cut just these 2 tails. Remember, do not cut the magic circle tail. We're going to save that for later. We don't want to cut that or all your work in the center here will fall apart, and I know you won't be happy with that. So in our chain 2 space, we're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Okay, here's my 3. I'm going to slide my work over, chain 2, 3 double crochets. All right, so this is what we have so far. Our next stitch will start right here. You want to pull this over a little so you can see that stitch right here on the right. Here's number 1. Here's number 2. And here's number 3. In the chain 1 space, 1 double crochet, and over the next 3 stitches, 1 double crochet. I'm going to go ahead and let you finish the rest of this row on your own. So I'm going to encourage you to please pause your video, and I'll see you when you have completed it. So at the end of the row, we still have our 3 double crochets that we need to place into this chain 2 space. So here's 1, 2, and 3. All right, so to finish off this row, we're going to chain 1, and in the top of the chain 3, place a single crochet, but we're only going to go up to where we have our loop on it like we did once before. We're going to cut our yarn, drop it in the back. We're going to pick up our gold again, place a little tail on it, yarn over the hook, and pull it through. And this time we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. In our chain 2 space, we're going to place 2 half double crochets. Here's 1, and here's 2. Notice that I went over my tails as I did that. So next, let's go ahead and chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to go ahead and start our trebles. I'm going to show you here on our sample. We're right here where we place our chain. So we're going to come over here to this double crochet and do a front post treble on the first one, a front post treble on the second one. And when it comes time to do the other side, we'll start in the center first and then to the outside double crochet. So let's get ready to do that. So to begin, place your finger on your loop. We're going to wrap it twice. And we're going to come over and go under that first double crochet that's on the end of that row. Pick up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2 and stop. Wrap it twice again and go under the second one or the middle double crochet. Pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and go through all 3 loops. We're not going to attach anything right here. That'll be in our next row. So place your finger on your loop again on your hook and wrap it twice. And this time we're going to go to the center double crochet. We're going to go underneath it. We'll make our front post treble. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop. Wrap it twice and go over or under that last double crochet. Pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and then stop. We have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over and through all 3 of them. Okay, so this will be loose and it's okay. Now we're going to do 6 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So in this next chain 2 space at the end of our row, we're going to do 3 half double crochets, chain 2, and slide your work over, and 3 half double crochets. I'm going to show you this repeat one more time, and then I'm going to let you go ahead and do it on your own. Okay? But I want to show you this is what it's going to look like when it's laying flat. So you have your front post treble here, you have your chains. These will be covered by our next row of stitching. And then your half doubles are in your corner. So let's go ahead and chain 6. Okay, your finger on the loop, wrap twice, and go under the last double crochet on this row that was facing us. Yarn over through 2 loops, through 2 loops. Stop right there, wrap it twice under the middle of those 3. I call them grannies. I guess 3 double crochets just has a reputation of being a granny. So we've pulled it through. Okay, now we're going to start under our center one. Pulled up a loop, yarn through 2, yarn through 2. Okay, we got the 2, so we want to wrap it again because we need one more. Front post treble, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. We have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over through all 3. Snug it up when you need to. Okay, let's chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to skip all of this, and here we are in our corner of our chain 2. 3 half double crochets, chain 2, 3 half double crochets. All right, so this is what we have so far. I'm going to encourage you to go ahead and continue the rest of them. I know you can do it. So we're going to chain 6, the 2 front post trebles, the 2 front post trebles, chain 6, 3 half double crochets, chain 2, 3 half double crochets, and then that's the end of that row. I'll meet you at the end of the row. Please pause your video. Whew! I know you did a good job, and I know it looks like mine. Let's finish this row. Oh, I can't wait to get out of this row. 3 half double crochets in this final corner here. Okay, we're going to chain 1, and right over here we're going to skip this chain 1. Going to go right into that first double crochet. We're going to place a single crochet. We're not changing colors. Okay, and then we're going to slip stitch over all of this. Well, actually, my mistake, a single crochet. Okay, so there's 1 single crochet there. We're going to do 1 in the same place we did a single crochet. So that's our second, and here's our third single crochet. Now, if you have your tail like I do, we can crochet over it now, and we're also going to include our chain with our next set of stitches. This first one right here we're going to skip because we do have the leaning of this, so we're going to go into our second stitch and do 1 double crochet. Now you notice how I'm going to go over. I'm going to come take my hook and put it through. I'm going to go over everything, pull up a loop, and it'll bury it all. Make sure that this bottom loop here is a little long. We'll complete our double crochet. So there's 1 into our next stitch. Here's number 2. Here's number 3. And here's number 4. Okay. So we're going to skip a stitch. We're going to pull this down. We're going to skip this next stitch. And this one right here that goes over that chain 1, you can see how it goes into that chain 1 space. We're going to place our next double crochet there. But first, we're going to pull our trebles back up. And we're going to go under our trebles right there in the center, and then into that double crochet in that chain 1 space. Pull up our loop and complete our double crochet. Okay, you may have to stretch that chain stitch a little bit to fit underneath there better, but it'll fit. Okay, so let's go on to our next one. So to be sure, pull it forward. We're going to skip this next one, and in the next stitch, double crochet. So here's 1, 2, 3, and here's number 4. Okay, and over these 3 half double crochets, we're going to place 1 single crochet in each stitch. There's 1, 2, and 3. So this is what our first row will look like. Okay, I know it's puckery right now because of the video, but if you see it, you can see the diamond starting to emerge a lot better. Okay, so let's chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to go over and skip that chain 2, and into our first half double crochet right here, we're going to place a single crochet. The chains will be covered up by the final row of the red that we will be adding. So here's 1 single crochet, here's 2 single crochets, and 3. Okay, so we're going to skip this first stitch right here, and in our next stitch, double crochet, 1, next stitch, double crochet 2, number 3, and number 4. Bring your stitches forward, recognize where your next stitch is. We're going to skip the next one, and in the one in the chain 1 space is where our next stitch is going to go. So we're going to go under our trebles in the center, and in that chain 1 space that double crochet is in, we're going to do our next double crochet. Then we're going to skip the next one, and then we'll do 4 double crochets in the next 4 stitches. 2, 3, and 4. Over our 3 half double crochets, single crochet, 3 single crochet, chain 3, and go around that corner and single crochet in that first half double crochet stitch. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to ask you to pause your video and continue going all the way around. I'll meet you when you get here to the corner, and I'll show you how to change to the red. Please pause your video. So at the end of this row, you'll probably find that you'll have to work with your stitches a little bit and pull the block out. That's okay. It's just part of the process in the creation of these things. So at the end, the last single crochet, chain 1, and into that looks like a single crochet space, we're going to start our last single crochet. Go ahead and bring up your loop, leave a tail on your yarn, and I'm going to pull out the red, leave a little tail on that, pull it through those 2 loops. This row we're going to be doing here is all double crochets. So let's chain 3, and in this row we're also going to be going over our tails from the previous rows. So in the corners only, you're going to be going over the chain 3 and over the chain 2 of the previous row. So we got this row of the single crochets and this row of the half double crochets. So let's place 2 double crochets, and you'll also want to make your double crochet that first loop in your wrap of your hook a little bit looser. So we're going to do 2 for right now because the chain 3 does count as our double crochet. Okay, and we're going to skip this first, what they call the hidden stitch. We're going to skip that one. We're going to insert our hook into the next one, place our tails up above it, and double crochet. So continue double crocheting across till you get to this corner. In this corner, you see how we have the chain 3 and the chain 2? Go into the center and you'll do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets over those chain 2 stitches, and then double crochet your corner, double crochet your corner, double crochet. And I'll meet you at the end, show you how to finish it off. Here's number 13 and number 14. We have 14 across in our row. So we're going to do our last set of 3 double crochets in a corner. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we're going to chain 1. We're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 because a slip stitch gives the same width as a chain. So we'll actually have, see that? We'll actually have enough. And we will pull this thing through. Okay. Oh, I am excited. Does yours look like mine? I bet it does. Don't you just love tutorials? Okay, so next thing we're going to do here is going to take my needle and the yarn. What I do is I bring it up from behind, fold it over, and pinch it tight. And what it does is it creates a little loop. And then you weave that in. Sometimes if you take this end, it'll fray, and then you'll be snagging your yarn. You don't want to do that. So from the edge right here, I'm going to go under a few loops of yarn here to the center of my stitch. Pull it through. And I usually go back under 1. That way I don't have to worry about it unraveling or the weave not working. Okay, so I went through these stitches here. Now I'm going to go over the top of this one and under the rest. Come out in the center. Right there. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Now let's go do the magic circle one. The other ones that you crocheted over, you could just cut those off as I did. Now for our magic circle one, this is the most important one. Please, please, please do not cut magic circle right here. If you do that, everything will just come undone. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around it one more time. Doesn't have to be 100% exact, but you want to go around that circle one more time. Don't cut it yet. I'm going to show you how to finish it off. Okay, now go over the top of one of them, and you can go back the same way you came. I usually go about halfway. And then go over the top of one, and you can go back that same direction. And that'll definitely lock it in. Then we can cut it. And we have our block. So, I guess I used a bigger hook on this other one. I made this a long time ago and just happened to pull it out And I said, oh yeah, I can do that. So let's do a crochet tutorial on it. So here's the tutorial of the square that I have right here. Like I said, if you made multiple ones like this, you could sew it. It would make a beautiful scarf. You could also make a bunch of these, gather it at the top. It'll make a nice little hat. I think I'm getting ideas here, aren't I? You could turn it this way and you could make a purse or whatever out of it. Or you can make many of these with scrap yarn and make a blanket. This would be a beautiful pattern, and it's so simple. You could take it with you, be portable, everything. So I want to say thank you for coming by to make this video, this block with me in this video. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your support. I enjoy crocheting. At 62 years old, I still work. I have a job in the shipyard where I do pipe fitting and welding. And that's the reason why you see my hands looking like they're rough and ragged. But I enjoy crocheting as a pastime. I also enjoy sewing and a little bit of cooking here and there. So please come back and visit me again sometime. I have some more videos lined up. I have some of the guys at work want me to make them, yes, believe it or not, crocheted slippers. So I will be making a video on that. So come back and see me again sometime. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.